Hello. Um, well, I just done a jolly rose cleaning session again. Uh, I get these weird kisses and roses all the time, and I get conditioned into mentally to do the wrong things all the time. I don't know if that's something that only happens to the best, because the gangsters would call me my best, and that went with this huge sabotage and collaboration that makes you paranoid intentionally and with this bird language kind of thing. But and then there's so this is a bit weird, and you have to be careful because there is telepathic interaction that exists uh, between people and psychic connections that happen, and that are all stuff that good people mostly, and a lot of people have been conditioned to block any information talking to them about what I'm going to say, or going to be disinterested and want to change video or something. Change video just been said in this weird realm, as if I should be tempting you, or is it if somebody taking over my mind or something? So this video is about what you do unconsciously and subconsciously when whatever you do. There's something. Uh, I'm always kind of tight and resisting this mold I'm in. That's this kind of sock with all these people up here that are kind of spaghettis that stick out. This is really weird. I'm one, I've been one for a while, and it awakened me. Some people might evoke a chosen one with special powers, and I hope you feel the power in words, and that I managed to connect with you to not trans. I was going to say transmute. Maybe something has to transmute or something. I don't know. To transfer these power words and effects and knowledge that goes with the words, and all the cleanup and work that's been done in the mental realm where we store, and the way that governs a bit how we act, and the network we're plugged on psychically that inspires or dictates to us. So I have to be especially careful and loving in the way I speak, because they taught me to go and fetch there's all these commands that we have in our heads that are telling us to behave. And when you feel the dough inside of yourself, I might have more of this dough stuff that's actually called also called tape. It's like a tape you would listen to. You can write stuff on the dough, and that's what's happening. And then the dough gets loose when you work on it, and it's all these twisting horn things that have a crunchy wire in it. When they say somebody's wired just drags something up, I probably put one of them on just by saying it. This is what the video. This I just sent up to the tower. I don't know if they have power in the tower on my mind, or it can influence me. But for me, this usually is evil. Maybe for you, this is good. But everything I say, when it's either good or evil, I've been told to say the wrong thing, or to point out the wrong thing. So we have to be careful on the way we speak, especially when we're influential. Being honest and yellow war language speaking, or nonverbal language speaking, what shows and has special meanings that's supposed to guide the people's unconscious and subconscious. and which are all sometimes, and most of them, I'd say, some kind of mental portal that will kind of manage people's behavior. It's hard to explain to people that most of the times they're on this program that makes them, most of all of their reflexes and behaviors have been commanded by this program they have. That is, and it's like everybody would, even if they're good, it's like if when you feel energy, you can get inside their heads and you feel the spaghetti and then these tentacle like 9-inch snails, I call. Because if they call the band 9-inch snails, I feel those snails crawl up my back, and these twisted things they call roses. And it's like if they put a pulley that's twisted the whole wire with this special block of wrong instructions that you'll be loading when you adopt this or that thought or move this or that or whatever they decided would trigger it on and make you read that information and behave that way. We all, unless you're totally resisting and always tensed, and then you told yourself to be careful, be aware, and you have to resist when you speak. Just a word speak. See, it takes, there's this twist in it. I start following the music and on twisting this tape with that's all toward like tape that's stretching from the middle and becoming a tube kind of thing. And those, when they twist tight, they become U-tubes, I call. Because U is another word in the bird war language, alchemical language, secret collaboration, kept secret. In all names, often there's something valuable that can be used in the bird language. Something just or commanded me. When I'm on a good run, I get commanded. I hear the voice. It tells me to forget. And you guys get some of those too. And when you meet somebody like me, I'm the good knight that Harley Quinn bats. I meet the three redheads. Redheads are like Irish people in mythology, or I don't know what kind of social or war or whatever meaning where that belongs. Expression, I would say. Redheads are considered being violent. That's another non-verbal language. When you see a redhead in the head, it's in the front of this a picture often. It's going to mean that they are not afraid of knuckle messages and intimidation, and they'll stab their way through it. They can protect themselves and gather their own boxing kangaroos and all that. And just by doing fuck you, or drag them and point them to who's fucking them up. So that's my new stuff. So instead of commanders to my flowers, I'm good, I send flowers. Unless they condition me to send roses instead of flowers, that would be a very, very bad idea. That I should not do this. But they sabotage me. I'm the good knight. I'm the best. So I have to be maybe not the best or the one and only best, but the kisses I fix are very, very complicated, deadly, and I don't know if I kept the asthma thing, but they make me do asthma every once in a while, and then maybe when I talk to it, might have even conditioned myself to give myself those things I shouldn't be giving myself, and not to do it or whatever I'm supposed to talk to unprogram that. Because I'm trying also, I look like I'm not saying I'm knowing what I say. Usually, Johnny or the knows that way of speaking, honest and the eye of my son. which is influenced like when the sun here is the sun. No, 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 the sun is a good influence, good energy and a prana and whatever. And it's in a celestial whatever. So and then the eye of my son is another way that counters those bad commands. It's like an immunity to be Johnny and to be good, to be, to work, to speak. When they say be, they're actually commanding you to speak at that moment, and to be a nose or yellow or how, in order to speak, in order to protect yourself and reprogram whatever is disturbing you, in order to make it do what you should be doing. I don't know what you're supposed to make it do exactly. I make it do several things, I guess, but the subconscious, now that we took the pole position kind of thing, because those are poles. There's also a pole you can lean on with love when you have nobody to lean on. Think of the pole, and it should appear on your cheeks and next to you. You'll get love from left and right. I got shovels on left and right. Usually, I used to, at least not anymore. That's not part of my reality anymore. I have to say, for it not to repeat, because that one is. Sometimes I'm about to go yeah, like this, and I don't know what that did. I don't think I should do this. And it makes you make this little movement, but that those little movements you don't notice have often been pimped and manipulated by the fascist capitalist ring of power and white power and the evil-deeded banksters kind of and Illuminatis and then something that had fun twisting that tape up with the instructions that pops up. It's like if you're running in the screen, endless screen. It's called a mind space, and then all these areas have been created with thought, action, love, the friction of chaos or whatever, and resisting. Friction of energy and chaos. I decided that gave love. Energy, chaos with energy, friction makes love. That's logical. That could be part of a new logic. Why not? Friction does cause something, heat sometimes, most of the time. Why doesn't it cause love that in the origin, in space, and the universe? And that love created life and something like that. So chaos, like they say, good of it. It gives a weird twist to the twist. Chaos, it twists this thing weird. It might not be the best basis, but it gives this chaotic kind of unpredictable beginning. So you probably need a chaos grinder or a fascist grinder that grinds down ego and jealousy from that chaos. On space, you don't feel all that. Sorry. Uh, I get into this twirling tentacle that's crawling out of the chaos that I can visualize and feel, and it's coming out all twisted. And I've been taught, and I have this overwhelming feeling to having to straighten all that reality out for it to become straight, virtuous, and righteous, and whatever, truthful and honest, and letting wisdom and energy in, and connecting people to love and whatever, and doing what should be done to maintain harmony and equality and respect and peace in anarchy and peace working together, fighting fascism and war. War shouldn't be fun, touching like it just did. War is, see, war, I get a love feeling. I rub a little horny thing every time I say war. Who am I interested in war? You have to notice what you're doing. But the people, they don't feel their sexual chakra and the love, but they always act like they are feeling it when I talk about it. But I just realized that they're not feeling a thing, or that their subconscious only is feeling that love and making them say yeah, because there's a bypass command that tells them whatever to pretend they do, or to feel like they're subconscious, but not feeling it physically. So you have to command yourself and talk to yourself and tell yourself and believe in chakras. That's the only thing you should believe in, is what how energy works and how chakras work. And but believing in those makes you become what you should always be doing, is becoming. A bee must comb and come. You must comb other bees and clean them out as they get dirty, being everything and being how they should, to be in a good way. There was a way. Way, I get, when I hear way in songs, there's power words. That's what I want to teach you. But most people don't feel them. So I have to condition them when I speak to them, to gently, or whatever way I should be doing, getting them to let the power in good words affect them and make them feel immediately what they're used for, and assimilate that information and that power to when they say the same word, so they can cast upon without even knowing they're casting, if you want. I prefer knowing than casting something. You have to get used with telepathy and magic, because this program of fake commands, that they come from somewhere. That's from narcissistic manipulation of one, or of the origin of knowledge or thought or something, or corrupting whatever. But they can manage to add commands and to twist the tape that goes, because we're kind of reading this twist tentacle tape with a wire in it sometimes. The ones with the wire is you have to crunch the wire if you ever feel it. That's something I should condition my auditors to do when I'm talking to them, is to condition them to feel what's inside of them and to focus inwards this way, to feel this thing. I should be connecting to them when I'm trying to make them feel something, and to feel and to wiggle a bit and to move them a bit and to play around with their head and show them that I can be affecting where they look at, and they can see where I look at, like connecting to me. They'll know the last thing I looked or that attracted me, or what I loved, or what I need. And then when you're aware and you have real eyes, well, when you say what I need, well, if you pay attention and you leave your eyes and energy, and you let what's recorded inside of you, you'll know, well, what do you actually need right now? So it points me juice and it bumps me to the phone. You have to see those magic corridors there's probably love that attracts your eyes to do that really quick movement, but they go flat. Your eyes do flash movements, and they let evil in and tag itself into whatever you look at. That's hard to believe. I'm pissed all the time. I have to notice those, and I just can't keep on noticing those. I hope I conditioned you to notice the stuff that's happening in all this, and to put music on, and to pay attention. When you hear a noise, pay attention to what blinks around you and what takes more importance, and may the blinking be more visible for you, and then that you get the reflex. That good people at least get the reflex. See, reflex, I gave it a weird bend. I don't know what. See, I press here and there, and often if I'm not careful of the way I talk, especially when I get clients for my tattoos, they look in my aquarium and throw me a rose that evil people throw there, stored there. Roses, believe me, they are bad tape sequences that whenever you get to think about whatever, or look at whatever object, or confronted to whatever situation, they kick in and they trigger themselves on, and they have this sabotage program on them. And the good night and the best have a deadly one. It's a deadly downward spiral. Whatever you do, you're always pushed towards death by your subconscious commands you don't hear. And if you ever start hearing them, well, then fascism hides. The first hiding spot is psychiatry. Well, the first hiding spot is their mask, their extreme goodness and charisma, and what makes them all popular and so loved. Because they command the love they get. But they screw people around commanding them telepathically. And they played around with the tape. And they can get it hardened. And then it has its curves. I hope that you feel harder tape inside of you. And if you move your head a bit, I don't know how I could think of moving the person in front of me. Probably usually think about her and just move. And think when you wanted to move their head and move in the proper direction. And then you're just retwisting all this. I have this bunch of crunchy things. I have to, and this loop rose thing that I think that's affecting me. I have to look crazy. I have to dance like this, and sometimes you have to let your body move to the music to get all those bad reflexes out. Especially if you manage to feel the dough and the energy inside your head. When you try to feel it, tell it to melt or put mercury in it. Mercury will melt the energy if you put it on top of your head or where it has to go. And Mercury should always affect the area it should affect. And Mercury has these weird hard parts. Every word, if you feel the energy, has this hard, kind of warm thing. And then there's love on it that makes you feel horny a bit, but it's more love. It doesn't really make you want to masturbate or get laid. Because I'm always alone, so I would tell people telepathically to make fun about masturbation. Now, although music got me not to be really interested in that. Punk and metal, I'd suggest, would correct a lot of good things. Most musicians will correct these words, but some things building them back with the wrong reflex and version. And the only way to counter that perfectly and to use whatever horniness or love that's put on a word and to send it to who should actually love and be attracted to that. Because you see, you have the right hand will have fire and the temptation. Fire and temptation. So you can tempt someone towards death or tempt them towards life. And then the left arm has more of a love feeling and healing, and has air water elements to attract with something cool. But since evil always adopts those and starts corrupting you towards death, and they're trying to kill everybody, the fascists. Even between whoever they taught how to magically do what they do, there's always one of the two killing the other. So, and they're best friends all the time. Whatever best friendship exists, one of you is programmed to kill the other, and always has these things he says that kills or reminds him of things that could kill him. Whatever dynamic, always without people don't notice somebody killing them nowadays, just by the way they speak or the way they intimidate them, or what program they're following on. If somebody is not, and see now I'm jumping on all these whatever. I have all these new spots. I should go up and poke the ceiling, not left and right. The towers are okay. Well, yeah, you keep them straight with the love, because if they're evil, they won't touch love. They'll avoid it. So they'll always, if you poke them a bit with love, tick, 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 you poke. When you poke, you kill evil. You kill here. Kill on whatever is making you feel love. Because they kill you looking really nice. And it's hard. And what I have to do is correct all those things at the beginning. When I start a video, I have to deactivate all the commands that make you not want to listen to this stuff or make fun of it or take it as something not important. Well, you should take it as entertainment and as important information and as a formation, because being black gives me the power of influence and also the power of command. When you see a black shirt flash more than the rest, you have someone that could help you clean yourself out and program you just by talking to you to do the right thing. And I'm being the best, or one of the best, makes me, I have developed the best resistance poses and moments to do so, and where to breathe, where not to breathe, how to breathe, where to get the way. They gave me a whole way. I'm the one that got away. I have this whole section here that, but sometimes it moves down there because I get kissed a lot. They give me bad ways and cancer ways and the black way and the wrong way and whatever stuff. They always try to trick me into getting all this stuff up into my head and these tape things that they have these holes everywhere. My cat gets those everywhere. He comes loaded with this stuff. I feel this McFlurry stuff that you can, and then suddenly you find crunchers in people's heads. If I look at yours, I have these things. I don't know if they're making me believe I'm changing stuff, but people actually get life in their eyes when you crunch them all through. They have all these bad triggers that make them look like this and that and do this and that and say this and that about this and that. And they're all told what to do. And I've been programmed. Everybody's all told what to do, depending on what type of person they meet. And they made these types of persons never have problems, but never notice any evil or never feel anything and never to realize nothing. And most people are programmed not to feel, hear, or see or realize nothing of what's happening. And so when you speak, well, before you start thinking about correcting what you're doing when you speak, I think that's all gets done when you're honest and you're good in intentions. You'll tend to want to fight that fake command because you'll kind of know, I think, or something seems to make you do the right thing kind of thing and to correct that. Because it's like if you have to bend this thing, it's always bending the wrong way kind of thing. And you always have to force it or love it into a position where it's going to make people do call upon, tag, and use their eyes and mouth and whatever, speak the proper way in order to maintain a good, collaborative, symbiotic kind of ambiance where collectivity and anarchist principles and discussions are held. You can control just by talking to yourself how people are going to behave when you see you. You see this type of person, and you decide, you say, I will connect to the right person at the right moment and command them to behave in a way that advantage my interest when they interact with me, or if they put me in power or something. And I follow boss all the time. I always, in other places, reach the top of the antenna first and reach that fucking line first and all that. The thing that plays in your nose, I'm the only one that feels it because I react first. I'm always the one to find the North Pole first. I don't know why. I'm used to getting out of that parasitical rat hole that gets you clumsy and non-aware kind of thing, and non-love touching, and that manipulates you into what? Into bad and the good night. I always play with the three redheads and Big Dongs and Chucky and Pennywise. Oh, made to scare you, make you think you're gonna get beat. That's all I'd see most of my life. Whenever I'd be happy and confident and being myself or being a resistant or being an anarchist or anarchist. I just did this weird thing about when I said anarchist, and this stuff is packed with love and bad. When I say anarchists, they're on the front, and anarchists are hunted and like the resistance, like activists, and like militants, and then you have manifestants that are more hunted by police or that are tempted into provoking situations that will get them hunted and beaten down by police. But what you can do is, like, you just go to the top of the world on the riding pad when you want to change something, and you just say, I'm the king of the world, and think about it. No, it's a joke. But you can't say when police beat people only fascists will be targeted, and fascists will attract police and get beaten. If they really need to beat someone, it's going to be fascists they beat on. So I don't know how I said fascist. Earlier, when I said fascist, I was bumping a bubble of one thing up my head and up to the top again. I don't know about, they pass the crowd, they even go higher. I don't know how high they go. This thing is a never-ending tube. Whenever I'm at home, I don't get well, probably because there's no other people around, so I don't get the boss position. And since I'm not a pervert, I don't bug my neighbors as much as I can. Anyways, I'm programmed to be bugged, to go get something to bug me, whatever, no matter what I do sometimes. I always have, that's why a bit why I do these videos, because I have to talk about all this stuff and to liberate a bit myself. I have to listen to music all the time. I'm dragged to the front being scared of my life just for being a normal tattoo artist that has liberty principles and anarchy and peace in mind, which is power to the people and equality and collectivity. And I even place my anarchy between a left and right, but I know that if we get rid of all these fake ways to talk and the movements they make us do and predict them and not make those mistakes they make us do. Did you feel those? The mistakes they make you do are here in your head. I don't know if you feel them, but all of these are bad commands or bad triggers that you can, if you focus hard and you turn your head, they'll crunch. But I don't know what puts them back all the time. They always come back, or maybe it's a different zone of the mattress you're operating on. Because whatever you think of makes whatever related to that appear in your head, and you'll read whatever program has been said, invented, acted, written about. As soon as it's been thought about, it creates itself in the mind space that most people do not connect with and do not channel with, or do not have do not have access to, because there are evil deeds and sabotaging and killing and whatever, fascist, egoist creeps and stuff like that. So some people are kept from, but most, what happened is because of Christianity, I think, I don't know where they got good people blind and not feeling all of this and not hearing all of this, and how they turned all good people off was this manipulation and this word, the way they got to change the way and what you do when you say what word. They program the stuff that you unconsciously do with every single word. Did they just say adjust all the words according to what we want and to put an evil influence in them where we want and all that? How did they do that to every word? Just word yanks this thing up that crawls up my head, a word. So I think this thing in the word would be one of the first places we need to clean up. Now I feel these wires getting tight in my head. I'm wired for real. That's why you're being convinced into thinking that I'm crazy. This I have to put at the beginning of the video, telling you not to think that I'm crazy or psycho or whatever, and to just drive fascists away from this, unless they would heal from hearing this speech and the connections I have. I'd figure I connect to some of the right people I have to connect to, and I turn and twist and organize them in a constructive, inspiring way or something. I hope that's what I'm doing. Hope maybe get, I don't know what. I just stretched the gut. Hope was on the shoulder, but it was a tentacle thing that slides up. Hope was you're dragging this thing up. While you say hope, they make you grab. There's this tunnel with love in it. Am I the only one feeling this? How can you miss this stuff? It's everywhere. Just focus on what's coming from where. Every single logo, an application logo, gives a rose out. I don't know what the roses, if there are good ones. I think maybe white roses could be good. I don't know. But usually a rose, usually good flowers are flowers, not roses. And good gives flowers to evil, which is better habits and better commands, keeping them away from being evil, usually, and making them better. But something makes them just adopt that mask and behave that way and be happy to behave that way in a good way, but they still take every single opportunity they have to punch in and to tag evil and to swindle people around and to play in their backs and to manipulate them in their proper egoistic interest. That is supporting fucking fascism and the intimidation and killing and crucifying of Jesus, John, and the good night. And I said that's a fascist thing, scaring good people with scary stuff. But what can we blame you from doing that when it's the good people that commands you to do so when you see them? So sometimes you have to get used and aware and used to blocking those commands that make you act in a fascist way with good people that don't deserve it. And when you're in my position, you feel like you're almost the last man standing, and that since you're the last man and it's often one influencing others, well, they sabotage your mind so that when you work, that you place things in their advantage. Or what they do is they'll pervert your family and kick them out of their mind spaces in your head, and that when you naturally think of your family, mother, father, brother, and sister, have fun thinking of those and try to pay attention to the images and voices that are in there in their slots. That was the familia. They put a familia, that's a fake family surrounding you in your family positions that naturally you're not conditioned to give those people any evil. You're conditioned to give only good to your family. So you can never harm them or convince them enough to act good with you because they're there to kill you. And they're trying to kill you. Me, they even stole my kid that would have grew up on the left side. And the right wing, was only evil for a while and only hypocrites and people taking this power of magic and manipulation to their own advantage, or just controlling people to get them to do what they want. But some people have really evil deeds, and they manage to program and implant this program that sustains the way of speech, that programs words in the wrong way, and that condition people to act and put evil influence everywhere where it's not supposed to, and to put tag and to connect evil things, and that they end up, when they act normally and when they don't pay attention to the way they speak, they're connecting the wrong things to advantage. Well, to advantage, I'd say good. To advantage good. Advantage good. That program, I'm saying that on love. Whatever you say on love prints directly to their mind and stays, and they will act that way in the future. And they will like this and they will hate what you say with hate. So when you speak, you have to be careful and be aware of love, hate, and the four elements that you can add also. And I think you can even go to the periodic table and make them mixes with elements that combine the letters and sounds, and put even more influence, magic, and whatever into your words and the way your mind acts with people. It'll just give them the essence and recipes they want, and they won't do evil to you. You can program your subconscious to work in a certain way. And I'm tasting this mellow, sweet feeling right now. I think that's I'm digging through this psychic fort where everything's been screwed up, where all the wires has been played with and twisted the wrong way, and where that conditions this and that person to act this and that way. And when I taste this metal, I'm forgiving either the state or con criminals. Because most roses come from fascism. So fascism, I'm dragging. I'm bringing them to the ditch, to the back. Okay, that's okay. I think I managed to get off the wrong program. It's wrong. I'm thinking with my eyes there, and I'm dragging up there. So I'm taking wrong when I say wrong up to the command, the old command center. I think that they can't affect us uh, from there anymore like the pyramid would work. Because sometimes I get worried. I started setting them up and other evil tentacles crawling up, fucking my mind and driving me crazy. Appearing before I even think, making me tag whatever's my worst enemy, my worst reasons, whatever fucking put sticks into my wheels automatically tags this whole team that all take a number and an object that pass whenever you notice or try to do something to them. So you have to really have a good autopilot and be used to who is where and who's doing wrong right and right wrong and wrong right and right here. Know where to write, that means to be there, to be here, to be everywhere needed, and to know where to be, and to be told where to be, and to ask who knows where to be, to tell you where to be if needed, kind of thing, in order to predict and to remove all this bad influence that naturally, by speaking, reprogram all the evil influence they taught us to do when we communicate and when we use this and that word, this and that. We just say this and that, and there's this thing that's sending you to the wrong place when you say this and that. So the people are their subconscious with whatever flashes is misinformed most of the time because words are activating flashes that are not pointing at the right thing. Thing has all these crunchers. Yeah, I know those are all things. But why is there breakers on? It crunches and crunches in the pulleys, and something makes me love that feeling and make me want to crunch them all. But sometimes it's this Nemesis guy, the one that makes me do in the first place. I don't know exactly where he starts, but I figured out where he started. I blocked him this morning. He never came back. And I'm conditioned to push him back all the time. Wherever he appears, I'm already, before he appears, I'm blocking him back with whatever I'm doing and keeping him away from my fucking command center, I'd have to say. I really had to condition myself really hard in order to get my fucking tattoo nemesis away and the fucking sabotage on my building and my street and whatever leads to me and my Google ads and all that. But they magically have a sequence of people programmed to maintain and make that appear all the time and to drive me out of business. So I'm fighting with this all the time. And then they're getting me this program. I fall in this dynamic where the one and the best and Jesus and John most likely end their lives alone because they're telling every woman they need not to fuck them or not to date them. And then they're self-sabotaging their whole life. And what the life does to you with all those words they put power in was to exclude the good night and to get rid of good and separating families, getting families not to get along with one another and to move away into far places and to get them interested or attracted to faraway places, to split them in different cities. Same with good friends. Good friends all got scattered all over the place and all this bad synchronization and fascist advantage action, uh, uh, anarchist action, needed with fascist action, anarchist, uh, and the army and fucking uncorrupt politicians and influences and uncorrupt witches and put everything you can fight, everything that's able to fight fascism after fascism. That's how you program. Because if I feel it too, so that's when I go on a binge like that, I'm actually shoving words on the buzzer to get them to work that way, to love that. I figured out that love would help a lot of things. And when I'm jumping like that, I'm probably making all these mistakes. Hopefully, I'm sending the proper mantra to the right thing when it's open, and opening it up and cleaning it and sending it to the right place and loving it every time. Because it's the fake it. It is a if it is a good person, then they still have evil around them. So even if they show us the wrong thing and something that's good, being honest and automatic makes us put the right thing at the right place anyways. I think we get a detector like that. So what the fascists are doing is they're keeping Johnny, the nose guy, the yellow guy, and the green guy, and the black guy, whatever is influential for good, they're keeping them quiet and loveless and separated from good people and just surrounded by toxic, manipulative narcissists that keep programming you, getting into their minds and sabotaging their life story. And nobody ever notices that because they only think that it's a loser or they're hated and influenced into hating whatever people. And they got taught to take pictures of them and to always exclude someone and picture them. Well, the whole blue speech is all rotting with all this fucking the wrong way kind of thing, misprogramming and commanding the wrong movements and the wrong associations and wrong things together, and combining toxic environments that that get people to harden all this and to cut the energy, all these chakras. People's chakras are closed. They should Good people should have their chakras open, chakras up, or that means to drag them up and towards you, raising your rib cage. You can program people like that. So whenever you're in a mind space or thinking of this and that word, just think of a word and then you see what it should behave and what it should attract and push back, and what you should be doing when you're pronouncing every word. Because every word has this, we all have this evil set, or at least I have this evil set of instructions that makes them advantage fascism in a unconscious or in an unconscious way, but never advantage fascism because it wants total domination and monopoly, and to live under intimidating and sabotaging good influence. And, but because they think they have to kill most of the people because we're too much on the planet. But they're the ones building bombs, putting all the money in war, bombs and walls when we're asking for tables to feed everybody. So there's this whole thing they're making people believe, and it's all in the words. The words have been tampered with. My ways, my ways making me do something weird that's bumping this. My way is giving this rose or something crawl up when it should be giving the way up here, the way breath, the energy breath. But that my way is there's this pulley thing crawling up, wrapped in this bubble stuff and making me bite my tongue when I talk about it, and bite my lip and whatever, and then it just won't stop twirling. So I probably just have to resist and love it and prevent whatever these little movements. I'm not sure there's crunches in it. You can play around if you're alone. You can just have to twist it the opposite way it curves and do movements that you're told not to do. It's really hard to go in certain directions because everybody's pushing you at commanding you, so you just bump away from it, and like you'll do it. I'm being told that when something doesn't work, to do the same thing I just did. So I always bump 5 times or try 5 times intricate stuff. I'm trying zipping my coat or whatever, little not really too important thing, or grabbing taping something, little hand stuff. When I and it's I think it's even telling me to goof or to be goofy. So I miss on the first try, and then it tells me do the same thing. So I'll always try a couple of times or whatever this simple thing, and then they burn me, and they get me impatient, telling me to get mad and to yell and to raise my temper. So I always end up, I always get mad at whenever I try to do something simple because it's repeatedly sabotaging me, making me sabotage myself, and telling me to repeat it. So a lot of times I just can't manage to bypass that little simple, but a lot of little simple things like that where you don't notice that it's not your fault that you're trying and not managing to do this and that the first time, or that you're not talented in this or not interested in that. Well, there could be a lot of narcissistic manipulation of that, and it was all done by words pronounced in a mantra commanding way because they were on power. They managed to be the black ones before, and they fucked the hell out of good people and installed this consumerism game and capitalist game and materialist position hierarchical thing that gets people to fight against each other or pointing each other with the finger or wanting to look better and take pictures of themselves having a restaurant or something, a privileged thing, a voyage, a trip, or whatever. They have to be proving themselves that they're better than other people all the time. And that's with stuff that are expensive all the time. And then I got sorry. This is being on the front. Crunches all over. It's all this bad sneak thing. They could, if you crunch the fuck out of it, I think it dissolves and disintegrates faster than if you just love it. But you have to do the love thing to reprogram it because sometimes it always comes back when you drag it back by. And I don't know if I could just let it pass, but those rolls of they stay there, and everything's all twisted up and crawling up, twisted. There's something I'm yanking up. Is it this song? Who is this? This gorge. Is it this gorge that are they good or evil? That is evil throne. It is a consumed, the forsaken. I don't know where that crawling thing was coming. Music helps a lot. So have fun, interiorizing, and trying to feel those stuff, this energy in here inside yourself. When you focus inwards and think to the back of your eyes, like kind of this way. When you look, take your sight inwards, where you see the air become a mirage, kind of like glasses or something, and you kind of see wicked, not wicked. No, we're wicked to see, but Mickey Mouse said wicked when you look at it in a reflection. But Mickey Mouse is the first Nazi to make it up the world and start transforming all the kids into little fascist clones. Those clones in Star Wars are real. That's a real program you guys have in your head. And you're treating everybody that hears it and tries to teach you about it, talk about it. You're sending them to get killed on those pills that kill good people that are driven crazy by narcissistic abuse and psychiatrist kisses. They get their first mental illness, their best mental illness, when they see a psychiatrist. They just kiss someone. And then I started hearing all these voices after a psychiatrist meeting, and there was a harassing and playing me. I could have let them be, and I'd become a good little fascist and play and swindle everybody I meet, and I always need to be a little fucked up creep that always sabotages whatever's good and stuff, and I likes it. That's gonna get his own fucking reality adjusted. But whatever happens, okay, I can stop being a hating, commanding gun holder with a love on the gun. That love's a gun. Put words on there. It's like you're shooting at them. But try to love while you speak and to correct all the false movements you're doing. False took my head, my eyes to wherever it was, according to this fake information, is false to them. But music got all those lights adjusted. Maybe they're not saying the right thing, but at least they're showing good stuff. At least when I notice stuff, it's my juice, it's whatever's good for me. The only thing, maybe the lighter, I can't keep from noticing when I see it in my peripheral vision. You actually have voices when you're addicted to cigarettes. You have this voice telling you to look for it or something that looks like it every time you don't have anything to do and that you start thinking. Well, there's part of your subconscious telling your eyes to look for whatever's addictive. And those smoking envies are mind commands or that they thought at this and that place in this big tape tunnel in which we live, and they can wrap you in one of these and just command you from a distance. And then they send you to inmates that all they can do all these things in their minds that fuck you up and that are conditioned to break to break the good sequence up and to turn it evil just by acting that naturally. They know exactly now resist, now don't, now do the opposite, turn the other way, turn this way. You have to fool all their program and reprogram their program because they're fucking everything up. And a lot of people that everything should not go up, things should go down, think down. Because the things are all evil around me. I don't know about you guys, but they are showing good stuff because they've been programmed and I've been blasting music onto them. But they still tempt once in a while, or they add temptation to things or zones of your. Every time I pass that door, I get I just look at the door and it gives me this wanting to smoke, and this thing crawls up me. There's a tunnel that goes real far with this gooey stuff at the end. And then there's a wire that twists itself up, and that's coming from the washroom, and it's all crunch feeling and crunched and tempting and all to be crunched kind of thing. And that's something that crawling on me that's making me start all over again. I don't know if that gets updated. We should update those things that recrawl on us every morning before they crawl back on us. Whatever we fixed in a day, being honest and speaking, and overriding our personal program and becoming free and away from fucking mental commands and mental harassing and that narcissistic manipulation. Narcissistic manipulation should not have access to command centers and zones in your mind while they can tell you how to behave. We have to naturally get these out of where they are, those narcissists and manipulators and commanders that command people into doing the wrong thing. This must be a way to condition people to push these back and to reprogram them into giving the right commands and helping them and getting a leftist collective anarchy and peace collaboration kind of thing and symbiotic relations between couples, stop tearing couples apart and doing the fascist game that wrecks everything that's good. So pay attention to the words you say and how let music grab you. Connect to music and let go and let it move you. Following love. That's a good way to fix a lot of bad habits because there's love on those tentacles or on your sexual chakra. So try to get used to feeling it and to fixing words. What do you do when you say what word? Words I just brought all to get kissed. I think I just kissed all words. You must kiss words into a good word. Maybe I just fixed words by kissing words. I don't know. Something's crawling out of my stomach now that has wires that's trying to twirl itself back up. But good never leaves a breaker or a crunchy thing or a wire to what it changes. It just loves it into it. The best love puts everything where it should go usually. So when you're fooled and you don't know what to do, always follow love and speak on love. The thing that's what you're aiming is the love. That is it. It's love feeling. There's always hiding behind this love feeling, but this love they feel like inside those tubes in your head that you don't feel are dragging you this and there, making you this and that, and giving you messages. Now you hear me, now you don't. Now you hear me, now you don't. You should hear these. Condition yourself to hear these. And to make it through You have to untwirl and look crazy and silly because they're all twirled up, and you have to crunch the wire, and then you have to command me into connecting with you, making you feel all this, and I have to tell you that at the beginning of the video. Let's go back in time. At the beginning of the video, I told you all this. Now go back to the end of the video. On the tape, it's all this tape. You can go back in time, surfing on the tape. When this gorgeous girl comes in front of you, just think about her. Go back to the zone where you wanted her to turn her head. Think by thinking about where she should have turned her head. Connect her and turn it in the right direction. So the next time she'll look at you, she'll be conditioned to look at you. Now, words condition people to look the wrong way and to affect the wrong people to the wrong thing. So be aware of what flashes and whatever happens, and what you go get and bring where, and when you say this and that, and who you are told to connect to. And those really nice persons are often manipulative fascists that look and act terribly good, but they're the first ones to make us do the wrong thing and get arrested and this and that and took to the mental hospital all the time. And good people are their victim. Good is being condemned. You don't notice you're doing that, but everybody has a little fascist soldier, maybe 10 meters of wrapping in them that triggers all this fascist attitude that they think is reality and the right way to act because it's the only way they've been told, and manipulating into adopting. But if they take a step backwards and study the way they're behaving, they're excluding someone and wiping their feet on someone that's fundamentally good most of the time. So since the metalheads took back the tower and got the inverted pyramid working, and the power over the people over power kind of thing, and people influencing and dictating what they want, or inspiring people and selling the spaghetti that your head filters without you noticing. This stuff feels like spaghetti all the time. I don't know if the spaghetti part goes to the evil people and the water goes to the good people. I think everybody gets water. But that's why the spaghetti church puts a strainer on their head. It's because they felt this spaghetti thing pouring in that actually tells them how to behave and transforms evil into good. But before the Burger King, the spaghetti maker was evil. So we were getting dictated and making us love our fucking servitude and slavery and all this minimal stuff we should that we have to take as a reality, while other people there's a big inequality in this fascist game happening, and it's all altering the way we say words. When you hear the way, you should condition yourself to breathe outwards and to get the way tunnel, and to breathe the air coming up from the way. It's this cool breath of prana. I don't even know if we're yanking a worm up by taking the way, but there's this thing that seems to crawl up in the way also. There's something in the way. Is it downward spaghetti? It's spaghetti crawling up from hell. That's the hole in my couch. Hell, I don't know what hell is, but it's a good taste of energy and breath. Some words have been blessed and healed and took care by musicians. That emotion makes them. When you speak with emotion. That's a good trick into correcting bad commands and words. And think of the words and pay attention to what you hear when you think of it, when you think of saying it, what's told to you, and what it's making you do, and hopefully try to counter these bad commands and to do the opposite when you hear these word commands and words. When you hear these, I think am I connecting when I say these? Did you feel these? I don't know. I hope you feel where those evil commands are inside you, and that you naturally hunt them down as like predators, and call upon predators and send them up those tubes to love the shit out of those bad commands and make whatever needed for them not to ever come back and command you. You command the way you speak and to what to do when you speak. and to get you to naturally straighten out the tape and vote when you say this and that word. Just to think about a hippie earlier, hippie is still making me do this twirl at this level. Why is it going hippie like that? It doesn't seem natural. Whatever's twisted up in a weird way, I think is always, see, it told me a weird way. It's weird, good or evil, I don't know. But that gives me a weird breath, weird tasting breath. You gotta get to feel all these. So this is enough. At the beginning of the video, I wish that you want to listen to the whole thing and have time to see it whenever you have time to listen and feel like listening to the whole thing, all my videos. So now you can subscribe, which I should have mentioned and attracted you to at the beginning or 5 minutes into the video. So hopefully I did that. What's all this again? It's starting to twist again. Something makes me sabotage whatever I post, and I recommend whatever thing I shouldn't that puts people away of what I post on Facebook. Probably that's because I'm a fascist. Fascist makes me do this. Yeah, I let something up. When I say fascist, something goes up. I think they want to be up there. Or this old reflexes that see after there's love in it, it's making you do something. Is it spreading? It's spreading its claws and wires in further parts of my head. Just when I say fascist. So fascists don't let, when you say fascists, don't love and resist whatever this is. That makes the fascists crawl back up. Every time you say fascist, you're always letting something up, so you shouldn't. Since I speak a lot about them, they condition me to let something up. I feel those things crawl up, and then I get weird commands I have to fix every time. And I just noticed that it's all these words making us the wrong reflexes and yanking the wrong thing up at the wrong moment. Maybe there's all good things that make it up now because the metalheads are on top and then they fixed all that. Or there's some sort of hand that places the right things at the right moment, even though they're all screwed up. I don't know, but I'm calling upon people to be careful on what they say, because we all have it's all for one, and that makes that people can, influential, good and wise people with virtue and reason have the influence. So they should learn how to correct naturally and how to speak in order to change all these changes. Gets something by, I don't know what. Should I untwirl this? Is this good or bad? I don't know, but it's a twist, and I don't know where it comes from. I hope I'm not destroying any good stuff, but by experience, good only needs love to place what it needs, and hate and elements to place the right place, things at the right place with love. It goes to the right place, so you don't have to twist any wire or tentacle thing. So that's what's happening in your body. You're reading tentacles and hard enough twirls that have to be crunched in the wrong way. Music usually bangs on it. When you go numb and pay attention to music and pay real attention to which way it's wanting to send you, and then you just let go, it's going to get you to resist a bit to a certain point where you're following this trail or resisting from looking at this and that and going always the opposite way, even your eyes. The music will create this safe tunnel with all the bad influence that pulls on you. When you're like me, you're always fighting against bad influence and deadly stuff. So the voice and the music and every instrument kiss the evil that's upon you to the right place. But you just have to connect to the command that puts music away from them first and to melt it down, and then to command it to go to where the rats and things that trigger wrong commands are or something. So you'll naturally love with music and put music, the rubbing, the frequencies, rub the love out and the dough out. You get beer or whiskey or rum and stuff and water for melting that stuff down. And I'm getting a whole bunch of that. Whenever I say that, whoever feels it should just keep the energy, light, the energy, prana, chi, Buddha, the seventh chakra. Open your chakras when you sleep and have them open and breathe off the pure cosmic energy. I'll be trying to program you. So be careful you're programming people. Speak with love. Resist at the right moment. block where you have to push down what you need, what is evil, I would think. But it's always making itself back up anyway. It's just twirling back to another position most of the time. So you have to learn how to program evil good. That's what music is doing to you now. It's programming you slowly good. And every day we're crunching this 4 and 3s and never past the 2 and 3. They're Harley Quinn and the Joker. So they're 2 and 3 after one. The Harley Quinn gets all the first pass. Everybody is programmed right here. Here's a wire to pass the Harley Quinn first. But don't pass the Harley Quinn. She's rewriting this whole fascist because she controls. Well, we watch her quite a bit, so her influence isn't that fascist anymore. But she still does, and some people are conscious they are and are working consciously to keep everything fascist and right wing. So we might have to redo her every once in a while because there's all these lights that appear. Are they conditioned to give the light they have to for people to act a proper way? Are we actually fixing this stuff now? I don't know what's happening with some stuff that's keep on happening to me. I don't know what made me a rose cleaner. I feel like I'm developing maps to all these rose mazes that fuck people up, and that I'm only one risking his life with these things that are pretty hardcore to undo. And why am I keep on, everything's been kissed here. I keep on dragging those things back when I shouldn't. And those things should be back and down, and so there's all this stuff I do when I'm speaking myself in my environment that I shouldn't do, but I should learn to notice. I don't know when this gets loose. Is it good or evil influence? I have trouble knowing. I hope I feel it and predict it and avoid it or whatever. Reprogram it, make it transform. Everything, nothing gets lost, nothing gets created, everything gets transformed now. Transformed. So now we just changed a whole bunch of stuff, I guess. But with this video, I hope I had influence on the source of the words and managed to clean part of those wires that push us the wrong way. What makes the wire reappear all the time? I don't know who puts the wire back, or it's just because I'm thinking of something that hasn't been crunched before. I'm hallucinating door noises. They want to scare me like somebody's beating me. There's all this scare stuff in the roses. So beware of roses and don't pick roses up to your cellar. Don't put 2 to your cellar. Put 2 to the pit. And cellar close. Evict. Cellar evict. Cellar evil evict. Cellar evil push away. Cellar evil silence. You can call these words, some words have power when you're in a command position. I gotta stop talking. An hour is a really long video. When I look really crazy, I'd be surprised people would watch the whole thing. Now they're making me look silly with all these wires appearing again. I don't know what happened, what I did. Am I getting punished? Is the rose crawling back down on me? What's flashing? Is it going to be good or bad? Is it going to kill me again? My coat's there. It was me earlier. But all my life, my coat's been my nemesis, or my evil family. All my clothes would become possessed by the ones trying to kill me. The whole camp, and ruled by 2 and 3. I would rule the camp and the D. The D, when you're stuck in the D, they want you dead. And all good people are doing some sort of D. And the D is changing words for it to create this reality that's affecting good and evil people, fashion good people, and that music is correcting. So listen to a lot of music and careful what you say, how you say it, and what you're talking about to whom. Do not discourage good people. Do not scare good people. Scare, I'm bringing to good people. See, I said, do not scare good people. You scare evil people. Scare evil people. Scare evil people. Don't scare good. Scared. It's still poking at good when I say scared. So you have to study these words all the time. So I've been doing the movement, directing people that scare to good people. While saying scare good people, I was actually creating the dynamics, sending them there, making them do that. So by speaking, we program those invisible things. So when I say scare, I should be sending scare to evil people, and it doesn't want to go. It's get all stiff, and I have to crunch. So I'm supposed to send scare to evil people, and not think about good people at all, and to send joy and happiness to good people. Joy and happiness, they're making me dragged down to evil people. I shouldn't give evil people joy and happiness. See, we're all programmed to do all these unconscious things. I should send things to evil people, that's for sure. So they get haunted like they haunt me. My haunting belongs to haunt, should go to evil people, should pass and go to go go to evil people. Haunting leads to curse and point of evil people. Curse goes to, and curse does not go this way. Curse curses evil people. See, there's all these things you have to fix and all these power words. Power is showing me this place that thinks there's power around me that leads to this tentacle thing that seems to be power of I don't know what. Power, no, nobody, people have this. People power. People power. People should be there. People should know where power is. I see the lights change. When I see this and that word, I know which ones have a mind space and a dynamic they create. Words have power, and they created this thing that's destroying us in one another, and it's creating illnesses, and viruses, and fucking whatever gets us sick, and mental illnesses, and with this D system of manipulation, and the power of words they changed. The way I'm changing them right now, playing with tentacles and making us do the wrong movement when we say good and bad words and this and that. So now I just noticed my movement was making do the wrong movement, and that's what we're supposed to do. Because he's going to teach the wrong movement to all of his beloved followers. So that could be a good answer. So I hope this works. It's twisting like crazy in my mind. So enough of this crazy stuff.